Hello, I'm Lex from Dead Gentry Collectibles, and this is our Guess the Value game where I show you 3 objects. And then once you've had a good look at them, you get a price in mind for what you think their values are worth. Then I'll give you a little bit more information on each before revealing the actual appraised values. So here's this pretty piece. So what's your first guess? Questions you should be asking: how big do you think the pieces are? That affects value. You can kind of use my hand as a scale a little bit, as a measurement there. What do you think they're made out of? What do you think their origin is? How old are they? These are all great questions to ask. Okay, last one here. This one's a little taller than the other two. Kind of hard to get him on camera, his little face with that little fish hanging out. Make sure you get a nice good look in the light. Okay, so hopefully you have some values in mind, and now I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about each one. Let's start with Petey the pelican here. Petey is from the Beasties of the Kingdom collection. He is a John Raya resin figure. This is resin, not carved wood. All 3 figures today are actually resin and kind of ranging from 8 to 10 inches. And he's from 1980. He is signed twice, so you have that Raya signature there, raya. And then over here again on the label that's kind of inside of the resin cast itself. He actually started in Universal Studios before sketching in Disneyland. He would do caricatures, and then he became an art director in Disney World. So now that you know the age, the material, a little bit more about the artist, maybe that changes your appraisal value for that piece in your mind. Here we go. This dragon, beautiful little dragon here. These figurals, this is actually a tourist type piece, believe it or not. Show you the bottom again there. This is a Chinese Feng Shui luck dragon. Usually the dragon in Chinese folk culture, the fairy tales, isn't a scary beastie. He's more of a symbol of divinity and wisdom, very powerful, very lucky. So some great detail on this piece. Again, resin, as I said before. This is maybe from the 1980s at the oldest. These are not hand-carved pieces. These are machine-made. Sorry about the kind of changes in light here. It looks like the shadow is moving across the table. Hopefully you can make out what we're working with today. So now you know a little bit more about that piece. And like I said, that's maybe 9 inches claw to tail there. And let's take another look at this, and I'll give you a little more information so you can redefine the value you might have for this piece in your mind. This is very heavy. It's hard to handle. I'm going to make myself a little bit more space here. So this is an Elwodema piece from the world of Krystonia, Panton. This is a 1988 wizard, witch, druid, apple harvester, take your pick. These pieces, I would say this is a wizard, are made in England by Panton International. Bew Dix and Mark Scott wrote the book Krystonia that these are based on. The older pieces like this are hand painted with very fine detail and a lot of shadow work. As you can see, newer pieces that were being produced from China in the 1990s and after, they have far less color, far less detail. The crystals tend to be smaller as a way to save costs there as well. They're not as big or as pretty, as well cut. So this one is one of the 1988, and it is hand painted. So again, might change your idea of what the value might be. Okay, so who do you think is the most expensive piece on the table today? If your guess, are you ready? It's Petey. Petey the pelican is worth about $60. So if you guess Petey as the most expensive piece on the table, you are correct. I'm sorry, Petey's like so big, I can't really handle him and show him on camera at the same time. But he's here. He's huge. He's here. He's happy. He's got a fish hanging out of his mouth. Next piece, let's go over this one. If you said this was the next most valuable, you would be correct. This is worth about $40. There is a little mark on the nose here that could actually be cleaned off fairly easily. No damage to this piece, high detail, very pretty, very collectible. The dragons from the older 1980s selections of the world of Krystonia Panton are collectible as well. And then here we have the Taurus piece. This kind of resin casting, you'll even see like 2-3-inch Buddhas, Japan Taurus sites as well. So even though this one's Chinese, and the same kind of red resin, places like say the Japanese tea gardens in San Francisco, stuff like that. It is a Taurus figural. It is the least expensive thing on the table today. It's worth on its best day $20, usually no more than $18. So I hope your guesses were on point and that you had fun.